Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Tea Club Summer 2021, where I'm presenting the selection of teas that we're sending out, and or that we've sent out. There's still some sets available, so if you're interested, sign up now. And if not, if you're a little bit late, then already you can receive in the fall. So the idea every 3 months is, according to the season, to choose teas to accompany you that are appropriate for that season. In summer, at least in these parts, it's very hot, right? So we want teas that are cooling, refreshing, and not just on a sensual level of flavor, but also in a physical way. So just like many of you probably know, traditional Chinese medicine, everything is all foods and drinks are either yin or yang, either cool or hot, cooling or heating, and we want to choose more yin teas and foods in this time, and actually naturally our bodies gravitate towards choosing those things. So this selection really revolves around that, teas that are refreshing for the summer. The first tea you might be familiar with if you've ever seen it. You never forget it. The shape of these leaves and the color. So this color, it's like dark green but with some fluorescent green. It's totally flat and straight, flat as paper. It has a scaly texture. So this is Taiping Ho Kui, the monkey leader. It's from Anhui. It's from Yellow Mountain. Yellow Mountain, the same Yellow Mountain that inspired me to write Yellow Mountain Birdsong, the record that you can find on Bandcamp, or on our webpage, or just to listen to if you want to just listen to it on Spotify. It's on Spotify, Yellow Mountain Birdsong, inspired by Huangshan. So this tea also comes from Yellow Mountain, and it's a green tea. And its plucking is 2 leaves and a bud. And as you can see, it's very long. So they don't call it 2 leaves and a bud there. They call it 2 knives and a pole. And also this name, Monkey Leader, locals call it Jiancha, which is a pointy tea. So it's not always called Monkey Leader. When the tea steeps, you see even better maybe this fluorescent nature of the leaf. And you see also this idea of the 2 leaves and two knives and a pole. The 2 knives and the pole is there. The pole is there in the middle. And then rapidly goes back to its place. So on a physical level, this tea is very unique. It's often imitated like any famous Chinese tea, and it's spectacular, especially in this physical appearance. Its coloring is unique to its terroir, that it's grown in valleys, so it produces more chlorophyll. It's just a very unique tea, but it's as far as flavor goes, it's very delicate. Yeah, it's a very fine, elegant, delicate Chinese green tea. So there's different ways to brew this tea, but my recommendation would be to do it with the ice fire technique, which I'm going to explain now. Oh, and this variety of large leaf is called Shida Cha. It's a local varietal that's the original for making this tea. So the ice fire technique, we need ice cubes. You can take 3 ice cubes and put it in a glass. 2 or 3 ice cubes is fine. And then we want to take about 3 grams of leaf. Because I've done this on Instagram Live yesterday and on YouTube in Spanish and now in English, I'm just going to do put a small amount of leaves, just to show you the technique. But really, you'd want it to look like this. This is from yesterday, so last night I left it steeping again. That's a long cold steep, and it's really refreshing like that too. So this ice fire technique is great for first steeping. Subsequent steepings would be just with 80-degree temperature water, which is typical for Chinese greens, 70 to 80, but for this case I would use 80. So we put the ice cubes, we put the tea leaves standing up. These are very long leaves, yeah, they can be between 10 15 centimeters long. And get the boiling water, and we want to point around the circumference of the vessel. We don't want to pour directly on the ice and melt it. We don't want to pour directly on the leaves and scald them. So the idea is to move it around the circumference as best we can, and let it sit at least 6 minutes. This way of brewing tea is there's different ways in Chinese tea of mixing temperatures, of putting cold water and then leaves and then hot water, or first hot water and then leaves and cold water. Or it's nice to play with this thing, but these things. But for this tea, it's really nice to do it like this. First of all, the leaves are so long that they won't fit easily into your teapot, into your shiboridashi, into your gaiwan, or even as bowl tea. They would fit like shengpo would fit and does fit, but shengpo is great in bowl tea because you can just put a few leaves and it tastes great. But Taiping Hokui is so delicate and light that just a few leaves and in bowl tea, and it's just really light. Like what I'm gonna drink now is gonna be really light. I'm gonna leave it for so long that it's gonna be nice and refreshing, but it's not the kind of feeling you get, from 2 or 3 leaves of red tea or shengpo. It will be very light. I would put 3 grams like this, and then the next time just 80-degree water. And I hope you enjoy this tea. It has notes of fresh hay and also of wet hay when it's infused. A little bit fruity like apricot. It's soft, delicate, yin, and cooling. And I think that's everything I have to say about that for now. The next tea you might recognize also from its appearance. You probably know that it's a Japanese green tea. You might, just because of the color of the leaves, the shape of the needle-like shape. These teas tend to be sencha, or Japanese green tea. In this case, it's not sencha. It is shincha, which is a new tea for the first harvest of the spring. But it's not sencha, it's kabuse. Kabuse is shaded tea. Sencha is not. Kabuse is shaded the way gyokuro is shaded, the way matcha is shaded. It's just shaded less time. So it's about 65, less time, it's about 2 weeks instead of a month. And less shade, it's about 65% shade. So it's actually interesting because it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Gyokuro, with its longer shade and more and heavier shade, becomes thick, like a soup, viscous and sweet, and it's fantastic. And kabuse has some of that, but not as much. And then sencha is more vegetal and more marine, and it has some of that, but not as much. So it's a halfway point that is the best of both worlds, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Also, when brewing it, you want to brew it in between as well as water temperature. So sencha we usually do about 70 degrees to 74. Gyokuro is best at like 40 to 55, and kabuse is good at around 60 to 65. It was made by Shutaro Hayashi, 5th generation Kirishima farmer, and we have another tea by him. So this one is Asanoka varietal, and the one we have in the tea house normally is Atsatsuyu. So I wanted to share with you club members the Asanoka. It's fruitier, a little bit sweeter. And this particular batch was the final roast was done lighter, so not so light that it's perishable, but not so strong that it loses the fresh character of fresh shincha. So it's just really a fantastic kabuse. Of course, very, very cooling. Third tea is also a green tea. You can see its leaves, you can see the more whitish part that are the buds. It's a wild tea from Hasiang, Vietnam. It's called Tiger Monkey, wild tiger monkey. And this tea is wild, first of all, so that's fantastic. It has this wild energy. That means it's also going to be, in this case, strong. It's a strong energy. As far as flavor goes too, it's strong. I recommend steeping it lighter, 70 degrees, or putting less tea, or steeping it less time. Because with more of any of those factors, it will become strong, astringent, even metallic, and just not so enjoyable, unless you happen to like that. But I'd say most people don't like really so much astringency. So you'll notice it has a nice light smokiness. It's not a smoked tea, but in its pan frying, they use it's wood fired. It's wood fired, so it does get a natural smokiness. The same way many shangpors have a natural smokiness about them that comes from the wood firing, and and it's strong the way some shangpor can be also. So yeah, just go easy on it, but it's a fantastic tea, made by, harvested and produced by White Hmong Mong ethnic people in Vietnam. And to me, it's always a treasure to enjoy wild tea. Organic tea is fantastic, and wild tea is that much more fantastic. So for those of you who don't understand wild tea, these are wild forests. Man is not irrigating or adding anything to the forest. The forest has a perfect equilibrium among the species and doesn't need anybody to tend to anything. And that's my favorite teas are wild, which is one reason why we offer so many wild teas. Okay, next. There's this strange looking, and I will lift it up. So it's stuffed. Now it's kind of empty because a lot of it, I mean, it's still stuffed, but a lot of it's here now on the dish. It smells so good. It smells like sweet and tart, kind of like, wow, I just realized it smells a bit like, it smells a lot like licorice and like that black garlic, that black garlic, which is nothing like garlic. It's a candied. So this on the outside, this is Cugua. This is called Cugua Tiguanyin. Cugua is a bitter melon. It's very, very thin, this melon, so it's fragile, which means that perhaps yours arrives broken, or partially broken, or very broken. No worries, because in any case it's 8 to 10 grams, which is a lot, and in any case we want to break it and infuse together with a tea leaf. So no worries on that. This tea comes like this. It comes in sealed packages, and yeah. So the tea itself is Tiguanyin. Anytime we talk about Tiguanyin, it's important to understand that this is the Tiguanyin. Many of you know Tiguanyin for being a lightly oxidized floral tea. That's not traditional Tiguanyin. What they put and stuff these is traditional Tiguanyin. So it's much more oxidized and much more roasted, and then it's been aged. It's been aged 5 to 10 years. So it's a really unique tea. It's a really unique flavor, very summery, like flavors of wheatgrass. It has like raisins, and like port wine, evokes port wine too. The black garlic that I just realized and also walnut, which is kind of funny because it kind of looks like a walnut shell, but it's not. It's bitter melon, and it's really, 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 according to Chinese medicine, really yin of reducing heat. That's the main reason why I chose it for now. I don't have much experience with this myself to say that how great it works as far as reducing heat. I'm gonna find out, just as you will. But that's what it's supposed to be for reducing heat and for eliminating toxins, detoxifying. So this is another great tea for the summer, and it's also a very curious, interesting, unique tea that I hope you enjoy just for the rarity of it. Next tea we have this. Very long leaf. It's another very cooling tea. It's Shangpo, which is very cooling, very yin, and especially it's very young. So it's 2020. It's September harvest, fall harvest, 2020. From Mongsong. Mongsong is a quite famous tea mountain. It's from a little village there called Namben Laozai, which is only recently is it accessible. That's important because areas that have old trees that are very accessible quickly become famous, or a lot of people go in to make money, to make business, and we know lots of things happen there. And for me, the fact that this is not like that yet is wonderful, and it's a jewel to me. The trees are about 300 years old. They're 200 to 300 years old, and it's fantastic because a lot of young Shangpo people who just try one or two and they get turned off of it, especially in Spain, get turned off of it because they find it to be bitter, and that bitterness of a young Shangpo is good for its aging potential, and it can be good now. We might like bitter tea, but old trees are known for their sweetness and their gentleness, just like old people are, and they're not aggressive for the most part. And this tea is not at all aggressive. You can totally drink it. It's soft. It's Mao Chao, meaning that it hasn't been pressed, so it has these beautiful, impeccable leaves, wonderful processing that you can just add a few in a bowl and just enjoy. As bowl tea, as connection to nature, it's a jewel. So enjoy it. It's very refreshing. That I can say is very refreshing. Shangpo is always really, really cooling in summer. And if you don't drink it yet, I really recommend you start and reap the benefits. And this final tea, you might know we have always two subscriptions, the basic and the premium. This is the premium always has one tea that the basic doesn't, and more quantity of the teas that it does. So this is the one that's unique to the bonus. It's like a bonus tea for the premium subscription. And it's from Taiwan. It's a GABA tea. It's varietal TT20, which is Yingxiang. It translates as inviting aroma. It's a new varietal, and I've never offered it before. And this GABA is weird or unique in the sense that it's not, up to now, well, first of all, I love GABA. You probably realize that. I love GABA during the day. I love the effects of GABA. During the day, it's very acute concentration, and at night it's fantastic right before bed, deep sleep. It's just one of my favorite teas. I drink GABA almost every day, almost every night, and this one's potent as far as GABA goes. It has 191 milligrams per 100 grams of tea. And it's unique in that it's not oolong and it's not Japanese green GABA. It's Taiwanese, like the oolongs that we offer normally, but it's what they call Hong oolong. So it's kind of like Hong Cha, It's more oxidized and it's not rolled as an oolong, it's rolled more as a red tea. So it's kind of like a red GABA, or almost a red GABA. It's something in between. And it's very sweet, and this particular one, Mr. Lee, who produces it, won silver medal at the GABA tea competition organized by the National Taiwanese Tea Association. And it's funny that Taiwanese love competitions, and this is the first time I heard about this competition, that it was actually only specific to GABA tea. That's very revealing to how big GABA is becoming. I'd never heard of that competition before. So that's a fantastic tea. It's sweet, it's refreshing, it's fruity, and I love it. Well, as I said, there are still a couple of packs. So if you haven't signed up yet, if you might be lucky enough to get that pack, those packs that are left, and if not, then you can sign up and receive the fall selection. We ship worldwide, and please leave questions, comments, anything you'd like to say about this below, and I'll be happy to respond. And see you again soon.